term pit bull is used to cover several multiple breeds, namely the American Pit Bull Terrier, the American Staffordshire Terrier, and crosses between the two. Once a symbol of American strength, pride of many police departments throughout the US, and protector of children, it is difficult to identify a true bred pit bull. So are they vicious animals or lovable pets? Welcome to Headline News.
American Pit Bull Terrier definitely has a bad rap.
Years ago, they crossed bulldogs and terriers. The result was a strong, fighting dog.
They actually took the dogs and put them in pits and started fighting the dogs, hence the name Pit Bull. So if you take that kind of a dog and you work with it and you create it to fight, then you're going to end up with a fighting dog. But they're not born like that. They're actually very loving, smart, loyal, sweet dogs.
But a ruling by Maryland's High Court has some pit bull owners facing pressure to part with their pooches. The recent decision by a majority of the state's Court of Appeals affirmed a holding by the court in April that the dogs are inherently dangerous. The determination makes owners and their landlords legally liable for injuries caused by their canines. It was clear to owners and animal rights campaigners that the decision would lead to problems, as the breed has no definite DNA marker.
Pit bulls technically aren't a breed per se. They've been bred to fight other dogs, and oftentimes my experience has been historically with pits, it was owner preference as to size or type of dog. Color, sometimes owners wanted a certain color, but a lot of owners didn't care what color it was as long as they had the qualities and characteristics to fight and win. So they didn't register them, so there's no standards. There's not like 22 inches at the shoulder, 50 pounds. They ranged in weight from 30 to over 100 pounds. And they came in all different colors and all different types and sizes. So, but there were attempts to register them for various reasons. The ADBA out of Salt Lake City, they registered dogs. So there was a couple, 2 or 3 registries, some fighting, some non, that registered pits. UKC is probably another United Kennel Club. They register pit bulls, but strictly for their purposes and whatever their club does and related to pits. And they don't define what purebred means. I mean, to the general public, I think the common person will say purebred means I have a piece of paper in my hand from AKC that says this is a purebred dog. It's a purebred English Spaniel, whatever, German Shepherd, whatever. That's not going to happen. I mean, we get probably 1,200, 1,500 more dogs a year in here. I've been here since '03. I think we've seen 1 set of paperwork, and that's very normal in shelters. So everything we get, regardless of it, is always a mix.
The original ruling would have affected more than 70,000 pit bull type owners in Maryland. So how difficult is it to determine a purebred pit bull?
In their original opinion, they referenced definitions from some other locations, like Denver, where pit bulls are illegal. A lot of those locations, in their definition, they include dogs like American Staffordshire Terrier, American Bull Terrier, which is like the patent dog, and those dogs are AKC registered. I mean, those are dogs that people have to show in AKC. So if they are inferring in their opinion that this is what their definition is, then this affects a lot more dogs than originally thought. So now you're talking about dogs that travel throughout Maryland, or if they're having a dog show in Maryland, AKC show or somewhere, can you bring your dog or can't you bring your dog? And I said, is this going to get to the point where the realtors have to disclose this when they're showing a house? And how does that look upon Maryland? I said, oh, by the way, what kind of dog do you own? And if it's a pit bull, just let me tell you, Maryland has a strict liability on pits and blah, blah, blah. Will that make an effect on people moving here?
So is it the breed alone that predicts if a dog is dangerous or not, or are there affecting circumstances?
That's a tough one. There's a lot of factors that affect that. I mean, prior to 1980, pit bulls weren't known by the general public. Animal shelters didn't get them. And then in the 1980s, it became a push to make dogfighting a felony, and that made the media in every state. I mean, we're talking about, so it swept the country. So basically educated everybody in the country on dogfighting, and even those that said, gee, I didn't know about that, let's try it. Or you had your entrepreneurs, which we call backyard breeders, that knew that they could breed a dog that looked like a pit bull and sell it to anybody they wanted for 50 bucks, regardless of the papers. And if it grew up to kill your grandmother, then you must have done something to the dog, not their fault. So we had this suddenly increase in popularity of the breed. And usually when we get that, it's factored into a certain part of our society. Oftentimes it's maybe the drug dealers want a guard dog, or people are doing illegal activities or are fearful for them, whatever. They want a big dog. We've gone through Dobermans and German Shepherd, kind of, I don't want to say craze, but kind of popularity of those breeds. So this breed, unfortunately, is popular across the board. It's popular by the people that rescue and love animals and want to save them, all the way down to the other side. So everybody in society has an interest in this dog, which makes it more wanted, which means probably there's more people out there just breed them for the $50.
Jaw muscle of a pit bull is made up of short, strong, highly developed temporalis muscles. This muscle in a pit bull consumes most of its head, more so than other dogs, giving it amazing jaw strength.
You have to look at what these dogs were bred for. And they were bred to actually fight another animal, we know that. But they were bred not to attack a human. But when you start backyard breeding them and you have no concern for the lineage, and you don't care if it bites anybody or not, you just want their $50. We have not seen a tremendous increase. We've had a couple people. We've had a lot more phone calls than we've actually had dogs. People wanting to know what the outcome was and stuff like that. Now, I think the middle of Maryland, down the Baltimore area, where that shelter sees probably almost 100% of their dogs are pits, there's been some increase down there.
In mid-August, Maryland's highest court partly backed off its April decision that pit bulls are inherently dangerous, admitting that they went too far when it applied its standard to crossbred dogs. The ruling, which now only affects purebred animals, has muddied the water further. Owners are more confused and more concerned than ever.